Yeah, I mean, I think if I had a boyfriend or a spouse who felt like this about somebody else, I would like try everything I could think of, and I would have tried everything I could think of, and if it still didn't work, I would just like be walking around like in despair about my relationship. Like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? What, you know, first not even get past the point. I would even get past the point of being like, oh my God, you know, why isn't there anything I can do? To just get feeling like there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do about this, and I feel like, you know, and now I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about myself, like for my life. I would be really upset. I would be really upset, right? It would just be like, you know, yeah. So, and in fact, it is the other person who has to decide. I mean, it's like it would be him. It would be the spouse or the boyfriend who would have to decide to take responsibility for his life. I mean, you can't just you can. There are people who do it. There are people who decide that they're going to lose everything that really is important to them just because they can't have something that they want, right? I mean, it has to be the person who feels this way about me or about anybody. This is just kind of just general advice. Anyone could listen to this advice. I mean, it's you don't want to lose the things that are still important just because there's something that you would like to have that you can't have. Right? I mean, and there's so many times in my life when I've had to deal with really painful disappointments. I mean, like just the first time I was in the hospital and feeling like I was never going to be able to be, not only with that, I feeling like I was just like, you know, never going to be able to be kind of like the high achiever that I had always thought I was going to be, but like feeling like I was never going to be able to be a normal person again. I mean, I lived with that feeling for years and had it like other people basically telling me that either in so many words or not, you know, and I just kind of got used to thinking about myself that way. And then there were times when I, you know, was like able to realize that I actually really was very smart and could do a lot of things, and had never had to go through all that. So I had to deal with that. I had to deal with all that anger, disappointment, and like, you know, it's like decades of my life that, you know, all sorts of things happened that shouldn't have and never had to happen, and all sorts of things didn't happen that could have. I mean, like, it's not, when I talk about these things, when I talk about serious things, it's not like it's out of nowhere, you know. I mean, I really know what it is to have to decide that something you thought like meant everything in the world to you is something that you just can't have. I know what it feels like to have to live with that feeling. And the thing is, though, you can really get over it. You can really get over it, and then you can have, and then like life is always, as life has all sorts of things that you're not even really thinking about, that are just kind of waiting for you to pay attention to them, to pay attention to your own life, to be ready to like let this injury heal so that you can have other things. And you're just not aware of it. You're just not aware of it, and life will surprise you by bringing all sorts of things into your life that, like, well, you can be like also overwhelmed by all the good things in your life if you can just like let go of this thing that you can't have. I've had to do that so many times. I've had to do it so many times. Like, you don't understand. It was like, I was like, talk about mopping floors. All the years I spent mopping floors, you know, and it was like, and that was after I had spent like literally my entire childhood and adolescence, you know, just preparing to get into college and hoping that I would get into like an Ivy League type school or something at that level. And then all of a sudden within a year, I thought all of that was kind of over for me, and it was like years of mopping floors. I mean, and living with that and feeling like it was my failure, like I had failed. I had to just, you know, do, and it's not, I mean, you know, if you've done that kind of work, then you know, it's not like they're sitting there like trying to make you feel better about the fact that your Ivy League thing didn't work out, you know, or whatever it was, Ivy League, you know, or like a school like at that level, because I certainly had the ability, right? But I didn't know I had the ability anymore, and other people weren't treating me like I was, right? So it was like, and then every type of other disappointment, right? I mean, I've had so many of them. I have learned how to get over them, and I have learned to, you know, just detach from things when I know that's what I have to do in order to be able sorry, I'm so sorry, excuse me, to do, you know, to continue with my life, and I think, I wonder sometimes if the conglomerate treats me like what it's doing isn't like really bad because I haven't killed myself and I am living with it, and so like, oh, she doesn't really mind. It's like, no, it's because I have years and years and years, I don't even know how many, just, you know, decades of my life I have had to live with pain that was too much for me. I just have to live with it. So, you know, yeah, another bad thing happens to me, you know, and I think about, you know, just not living anymore, and then I know, you know, that I've had other things like that happen to me. I thought they were the worst things that ever could happen to me. They were really painful, really bad things. Doesn't mean they're not bad things, but I learned to live with horrible pain. I learned, you know, and terrible things. I just learned to do that, and that's what I've been living with all the time since the conglomerate started to attack me, and it was really sad, you know, because I had finally gotten to the point where I was like, okay, well, you know I'm capable, I know I'm not a bad person, and I can move on with my life. And then the conglomerate happened, and it's like everything is just like, you know, it's just like I have to just, you know, and it's really only a matter of time until someone attacks me. But anyway, you know, I was talking about this particular problem. I think also if you have, you know, some of the illegal videos of me, you should get rid of them. I don't think you should be watching them. I think you should not watch me through, you know, like hidden cameras in my apartment. You know, I would assume somehow you're getting video from that, and I don't think it helps you to be on my computer. And it's fine. It's just that the screen got tired, right? I don't think it helps you to be watching me. I mean, you don't need to be. If you want to stop thinking about someone, you should stop, you know, watching them. You should stop. You should do what you're able to do to stop looking at things and thinking about things that cause you to think about that person.